Hello YouTube, myself Soumi and welcome back to our channel Sandip Orchid. Our today's discussion is exclusively for those beginners who buy their seedling orchids and worried about their seedlings, because we all know seedlings are delicate one, they die easily, but there is a tendency in case of beginners to buy seedlings due to its cheaper prices. So they buy seedlings but can't know what to do with seedlings. So my today's discussion is exclusively for them about seedling orchids. So let's start. Any seedling plant growing is also always difficult than mature plant, as it is delicate one. So my today's discussion about the common causes of dying of seedling plants. The most common cause of dying of a seedling plant is overwatering. Overwatering is very dangerous thing, because too much water stops air movement of your roots. If roots are exposed to too much water, it begins to rot, turning brown to black and becomes soft. Rotting roots can't absorb water, nutrient from the potting media. So plant growth becomes slow and the leaves becomes yellow. So always be cautious about overwatering. Don't overwater your seedlings. And the second most common cause of dying of a seedling plant is underwatering. Many beginners water their plant 2 to 3 days interval. The plant becomes dehydrated and its bottom leaves becomes yellow, and the buds becomes falling off instead of growing. So underwatering is also a dangerous thing. Always watch or always notice your potting mix, and when it looks dry, you should water your hybrid dendrobiums. Always watch and notice your potting mix and water your plant according to your climate. The third common cause of dying of a seedling orchid is wrong selection of potting mix. The maximum seedling orchid dies due to wrong selection of potting mix. Such as in case of hybrid dendrobiums, you should choose charcoal, bricks and clay ball, this type of potting mix in our climate. If your climate is dry, then use charcoal more and bricks less. Charcoal has a unique property. When it absorbs water, it wets inside but dry outside, so it do not cause root rot. So our main aim is that don't let your potting mix wait for long time. The fourth common cause of dying of a seedling orchid is wrong selection of the pots. Always select a smaller pot for your seedling dendrobium, because pot selection is the essential part of the orchid growing. I have another video about pot selection. I have shared its description in the description box. Please check it out. These 4 points covered only one point, that is water practice. Watering is always depends on your potting mix. So choose your potting mix and watering your plants according to the potting mix and also according to your climate. If your climate is dry, so your plant needs frequent watering. If your climate is wet enough, then frequent watering is not needed. So always water your plant according to your climate, potting mix, etc. etc. When watering, flush the plants with water freely. Your aim is that the plant roots will not suffocate it. There should be good air movements around the roots. A good healthy plant needs a combination of good open mix and proper watering habits. And always put your orchid in indirect sunlight and try to avoid watering on the flowers, because if you water on the flowers it will stay lesser time than normal, but it is not possible in reality, but try to avoid watering on the flowers. I always suggest to mount it to ignore such water related issues, but in case of mounting orchids you have to water it more, as open roots get dried easily. And always put your orchid on indirect sunlight, preferably morning sunlight. Morning sunlight is very good for your orchids. Now Sandip will show you mounting of a seedling orchids, and you should check it out, because mounting a orchid, especially seedling orchid, according to our opinion, a beginner should mount their seedling orchids to avoid such water related issues, potting related issues, and it enhances chance of surviving of the seedling orchids than dying. So let's begin how to mount a seedling orchids. If you are a beginner and first time purchase a seedling orchid, then must mount it. These are some materials to mount a seedling: straw rope, wooden log, a seedling plant, where to hang, tag, cutter and drill machine. First of all, remove old potting mediums to avoid infections. Cut off the dead parts of the roots. Take a suitable wooden log or wooden piece that can at least 3 to 4 years last with a uneven surface. Plants should not be disturbed within 3 to 4 years. Now make a hole for the hanging of the log. Use hydrogen peroxide to disinfect the plant. Place your seedling dendrobium on the log. Here we use a pine chip to avoid direct contact between stem and wooden log. You can use other plant's bark also. If the stem is attached closely to the log, it may chance rotting of stems. So try to maintain a small space between stem and log. Plant is tied with straw rope. Here I use straw rope as it decomposes naturally. It will prevent initial dryness of the plant after mounting. Don't tie too tightly. Now it's completed and you can see the plant is stable on the rope. Now it's time to hang my plant. Always water thoroughly to your newly mounted plant. This is one of our hybrid miniature plant. It was mounted about 3 years back when it was a seedling. Now it becomes mature and blooming beautifully. You can see it. Look, the healthy air roots. When epiphytes grow in their natural habitat, their roots want to thrive moisture and nutrition from the air. So they expand their roots about couple of feet or more. So confidently purchase seedlings and grow. It's relatively easy to care for if you take a little time to understand their basic needs. All the